Welcome to town, Mr. Brown. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so, along with hitting that thumbs up button for me and dropping your comments. Want to hear your thoughts and feelings about anything Knicks, or anything I say here, or anything that Mike Brown may have said today in the press conference. We finally have a head coach officially, and he spoke to the media for the first time as a Knicks coach. There he is, right there, all smiles. Let me take these out so I can hear myself. I have some clips to play for you from the press conference that I was impressed with. I think generally, head coaches, they try to play it somewhat safe, especially when they're being introduced. He said all the right things, but there was some little jewels that he dropped in there that I'm going to play for you that I really, really loved and respected that he said. One of the things he did say, he said right here, our goal is to build a sustainable winning culture that produces championships. That's why I'm here. All right, we're going to talk about this. We're going to touch on the Summer League roster a little bit. I'm going to do a full Summer League preview video next. It'll probably come out in the next 2 days. They don't play till Friday. It's their first game against the Pistons, so there's a little bit of time before that. But we're going to talk about the roster itself, where the Knicks are at. They do have space available for one vet minimum, so that would be a nice thing. We'll talk about the possible names that are being mentioned. But before we do that, let's get to hearing Mr. Brown discuss this exact thing.
Our goal, starting with Mr. Dolan, to Leon, to the players, all the way down to the fans, is to build a sustainable winning culture that produces championships.
Let's go.
That's why I'm here. Our goal, starting with Mr. Dolan.
Okay. Sorry, I repeated there for a second. Clear. Win a championship. That is the goal. 12 months from now, I could be sitting in this chair discussing how the Knicks are going to repeat a championship. That is the situation right now. The Knicks are the favorite to come out of the East according to Las Vegas, and I will second that myself. Right now, with the additions of Yabusele and Clarkson, even though I still have my reservation about Clarkson, I think at some point we're going to be like, Clarkson. But if Brown handles him correctly, he could be a dynamic addition off the bench, and there's still other players that could be added here. We'll continue that. That was, I thought, was an impressive way to start off the press conference. He also started off by saying MSG is an iconic place to play and to coach, and it's got we have the smartest fan base, the smartest fan base possibly in all of sports, and the most passionate. And that's what we are. We need that championship, man. He understands the situation. I also, you know what? It's become, I was, you guys know, you've been watching, I've been flip-flopping between him and Jenkins, and I had some other ones that are more favorites. But I think this guy might be the right guy for this moment to get us over the hump back into the finals, and possibly even with, you never know how things shake out. Pull off the ring. Let's say OKC gets back there, right? It's us against OKC. I like our chances. Especially with the new additions and with what Mike Brown has done. The other thing that he's done is he has evolved. Something that I kept thinking Thibs was doing. And every time I would think he would evolve, it was like one step forward, 1.5 steps back. He talked about embracing, putting up a lot of threes, and then look what happened as the season wore on. Karl Anthony Towns was barely even shooting any threes. So there are things that have happened in Mike Brown's life that actually basically represent that he has evolved in his life as a coach. He started off in San Antonio, and now he ended, well, didn't start off. He actually started off with the Washington Bullets when they were still called the Washington Bullets. He talked about that in the press conference. I can't remember which reporter asked him this question, but a reporter asked him about evolving. And let's go to that clip. I think it's this one here, and I loved his answer here. And I think it's the jewel, the little jewel, the big jewel, actually, that was dropped in this entire press conference.
You learn a lot from not just your experience as a coach with the other coaches there, but also from the players. You know, when I was in San Antonio with David and Tim, it was about playing inside out. And now, fast forward to my time with Steve, it's about pace and space. And that's where the game is. And like I said, if you can't evolve, you're going to get left behind. And so I feel like I'm trying to do that, and hopefully we'll be able to bring some of that here.
There you go. There you go. Evolve. If you don't evolve, you'll get left behind. This is the guy, I think, that can put these ingredients together beautifully. Also, here's another thing that he mentioned here. He said, once I get my staff together, which they're working with Leon about that. I've heard Darvin Ham's name. Borrego, it looks like the Pelicans don't want to let him go. I don't understand. The Pelicans are a disaster organization right now. What do they expect? Let the man go. Let the man come to New York. Maybe that can still happen. But Darvin Ham is a name that's been mentioned. But also, other teams, I forgot who he's with, but they don't want to let him go either. So we'll see. That's going to be an evolving process. We did hear that Rick Brunson's role will be, he's being downgraded. He's still an assistant coach, but he's downgraded, which is good. It's fine. You want to give the new coach his space to do what he needs to do. You don't want to have your best player's daddy next to him. You don't want that. But of course, you want his opinion. You want his input, and so they're going to keep him on, but he's not going to be, I think he was officially associate head coach, so he's not going to be that title. So you cannot say, he said, look, once I get my staff together, we'll figure out those type of things. Different players. Mitchell's a vertical threat. Cat's a space threat. So to have the versatility they bring to the table is going to be a lot of fun. That's his comments on playing Mitch and Cat together. This guy, he was there. He was there with Duncan. He understands how to use big men. The game back then was an inside-out game. Now it's a space and pace game. I love that line. Space and pace. It's kind of a tongue twister a little bit. So when you have guys, and he also talked about the wings. He talked about OG and Mikal Bridges as being incredibly special players. I feel so much better about this hire after this press conference. I know some people were saying, oh, he didn't really say much. It's how he handled himself is what was important here. He handled himself like a professional, like a leader. I mean, he comes from an Army background. I think his dad was in the military. He's very disciplined. He commands respect. He has coached some of the biggest stars in the history of the NBA, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. The man understands how to get players to play the best versions of themselves. And that is what we have been wanting in a coach. I felt that Tom was limiting our roster. Well, this guy, he can't wait to get in there and unlock this roster. And he comes from a defensive background to begin with. And then he coached, at the time, the most efficient offense in the history of the NBA in that 2022-23 Sacramento Kings squad with De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. So this guy said all the right things, and I believe he's going to do the right things. Not just talk, he's going to walk it. Beautiful. Excellent hire. Congratulations. Could Jason Kidd have been a better hire? Could have, but the situation didn't allow it. So he is the right guy for the situation here. And I love his whole thing. It went from an inside-out game with Tim Duncan to a pace and space game with Mr. Kerr. Learning under those two great coaches, Popovich and Steve Kerr. So Man, I can't. Honestly, I can't wait. I can't wait for the season to begin. Can't wait for the season to begin. But I'm looking forward to Summer League. It begins, I said, on Friday. It'll be game 1 for the Knicks. This is the roster that was released here. Pacom Dadier, Kevin McCullough, Tyler Kolek, Marjan Beauchamp, Udai Baba. I think that's his name. Interesting guy. He was like a big G Leaguer guy. I think a lot of people are excited about him. Anton Watson is back. Jamal Bay, I don't know much about him. By Wally Bayless, I don't know much about him. But Dink Pate, I think it's Pate. Dink Pate, he looks pretty dynamic. I mean, he's young, he's raw, but he's exciting. He looks like a very exciting player. I'm going to be really excited to watch him play in Summer League. Some of the other guys, Jaden Campbell, don't know much about him. Devon Grant, same. The next ones, I don't really know much until we get down to Najee. He looks like an interesting center potential. And Mohamed Diawara, who I am really high on. And then, of course, my guy, Ariel Hakporti at the bottom there, who is going to be the backup center to Mitch Robinson in the rotation. He will probably play an average of, who knows, maybe anywhere from 10 to 18 minutes a game. He will average next season, all season long. So this is and who knows, maybe he really delivers. He gets even more minutes. He is a really interesting center. He has more of an offensive game than Mitch at this point. It feels like it. He has some nice touch around the hoop. He's got some hops. He can block. I'm excited to see him. This, honestly, you're looking at this. This could be. Oh, where is Kevin McCullough? Kevin McCullough, and Pacom Dadier. This could win the Summer League. This roster right here. We'll get into it more later. One thing I want to talk about now is these two guys. Let's go. So let's look at Bobby Marks's. This is from Bobby Marks. He put this together. This is the offseason roster. Obviously, the starting 5 is Brunson, Bridges, Hart, Anunoby, and Towns. I'm going to talk about that in another video. Who really should be the starting 5 of this Knicks team? We'll get into that, but that's who it is right now. The reserves are Deuce, Tyler Kolek, and Jordan Clarkson. They're signed. Boom. And then we got Pacom Dadier, Gershon Yabusele, Mitch Robinson, and Ariel Hakporti. They have Josh Hart starting here. Yeah, Josh Hart's not going to start. It's going to be Mitch. And then the draft in the second round with Mohamed Diawara. So they have 2 more spots available. 2 more spots. You have to have 14 players signed before the beginning of the season, or even before the beginning of training camp. I'm not 100% sure on that. Free agents, Precious Achua, he's not going to end up with the Knicks. Cameron Payne, you never know. DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet, I would love to see either one of those 2 guys come back, but it's tough with the salary structure because they have space available. You can see here the salary is at $204.1 million, and the second apron is at $207.8 million. So they have about $3.7 million available to sign 2 players. And the beauty is they have the vet minimum available, which only hits the cap like 2.3 something million. So, but if a player like Clarkson's going to get more than that because he's been a pro for like 8 or 9 years, so you get a credit back. Is the way it works, and it's an incentive to keep vets around that cost you similar to what a younger player would cost you. So it's nice, but vets will still get a decent contract. So guys that they're talking about right now, McCullough, they tendered an offer to him. I think he will be the 14th player, but who will be the 13th player? That is the question. Who will be the 13th player? Will it be here? This is an article that this guy Kevin McCormick wrote for CBS Sports. When was that? I think that was maybe last week, like right before 4th of July. And it says, though their financial flexibility is minimal, the Knicks still have some cap space to work with. In a recent column for SNY, insider Ian Begley cited how they could utilize their open spot on the roster. New York has been active in the guard market in search of more backup options behind Jalen Brunson, which I totally agree with. We need another bona fide point guard, backup point guard. Jordan Clarkson, and everyone's talking about, he averaged like 5 assists and all this stuff. He's not a point guard. He's not a point guard. He's a shooter. He's a chucker. He can pass. He's a pretty decent passer, but he does commit turnovers. He's a pretty high turnover guy. So Why put that pressure on him? Of course, sometimes you're going to have him as the backup. He's going to be the guy that comes off the bench to back up Jalen Brunson at the point. But you would like to have another true point guard, like a established point guard who understands how to get people in the right spots and understands when they should shoot. Now, the two guys I'm going to mention that have been mentioned here, in varying degrees, one of them definitely understands that, and the other one has struggled with that part. So here he goes. Here's the quote actually from Ian. I don't know if there is a specific focus for that final roster spot, but the Knicks have been in touch with multiple backup guards on the market. Dante Exum considered the Knicks as a possible destination before he agreed to a deal with Dallas. So he agreed to a deal with Dallas. As noted earlier, the Knicks touched base with free agent Ben Simmons this week. So it seems like the Knicks are at least keeping an eye on the market for a backup guard. While Clarkson is capable of being a lead guard, his style of play is more in line with that of a combo guard. Because of this, New York could benefit from signing a more traditional point guard. Some realistic options given their cap situation include Malcolm Brogdon, Russell Westbrook, Corey Joseph, and Monte Morris. Russell Westbrook, it looks like the Bucks are looking at him right now. So I have a feeling that's probably going to happen, so I don't think he's going to be available for us. Corey Joseph, I don't want to see him on the Knicks. Monte Morris is interesting. He could be an interesting final one, but at that point, I kind of would rather just go for Shamet, He played some excellent defense towards the end of the season and in the playoffs, and man, did he get hot from the three-point line. And maybe he just finally recovered from his early season injury and just his undefined role. He didn't get enough playing time. When he finally did, he rewarded the Knicks with a solid performance. And maybe you just forego the having a true backup point guard and get a guy who can actually shoot and defend. Because Clarkson doesn't defend well. That's another issue. If the Knicks are going to fulfill their championship aspirations, they'll need Brunson in a good place physically come the postseason. Knowing this, the front office should have multiple viable options to help limit the wear and tear the star guard goes through in the regular season. All right, let's do this. Let's go to, here we go, Brogdon and Simmons. So last season was interesting. Ben Simmons, he started off with Brooklyn and he got traded to the Clippers. He averaged about 22 minutes a game, 5 points per game. He's on 52% field goal shooting. Did not attempt a three-pointer. He's not a three-point shooter at all. He shot 73% from the free throw line. He averaged almost 6 assists per game in 22 minutes. So the guy, he is a fantastic passer, and he has great size. He's a good defender. Let's see. I mean, his defensive rating was 113.5, but that's total because he started out with Brooklyn. It was 111.1 with the Clippers. That's a very good defensive rating. His net rating was a plus 3.7 overall. He would be a really. Over the years, I've had a lot of issues with Ben Simmons, especially the way he handled himself in the playoffs before. Then he had his unfortunate situation. But he's back now. He could be really interesting. He could be really, really interesting because then he also gives you something completely different than what Jalen Brunson is. He's huge. He basically can play power forward, but he is a guard. He's interesting. Malcolm Brogdon is also a very interesting player possibility for the Knicks. Last year with the Wizards, he had like an ankle issue. Now, we don't know if they were trying to tank and they forced him to not play because he only played 24 games last year for the Wizards, and a lot of it was missed because of this ankle. And now but if he did have this ankle sprain, if it really was true, then that could possibly explain why his three-point shooting took a nosedive. He had been averaging in 2022-23 for the Celtics, he averaged 44% from the three-point line. And then the previous year with Portland, when he ended up there, he shot 41% from the three-point line. But last year, it dropped below 30% to 28.6% from the three-point line. So maybe the ankle was, you need to have some lift. It could throw off your touch. That could explain why he wasn't that efficient from the three-point line. But he did average 12.7 points per game. 4 assists. He doesn't turn the ball over much, only 1.6 turnovers per game. He gives you a steal every once in a while. He's another, at the vet minimum, I would take either one of those two guys. I think that would be an excellent addition for the Knicks to solidify the roster. So there we go. There we go. But this guy, can't wait. Can't wait to see him work his magic. I hope he's probably going to be at Summer League. There'll be more interviews with him. Maybe they'll bring him on. That's one of the cool things about the Summer League broadcast that they do on ESPN and NBA TV. They bring a head coach, especially sometimes often the new head coach of a team. They bring him on while the game is playing, not necessarily their own team, but and they comment and ask the announcers ask him questions. So I want to hear more about his feelings about how he's going to handle these Knicks and turn them into the champions next season. All right, thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please hit the thumbs up button for me. Drop your comments, subscribe. If you haven't yet, turn on the notification bell and share the video. I would appreciate that. And I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go win that Summer League.